Students, so today let's look at some of the common metals. So the first common metal I would say is gold. You would have seen it in gold jewelry, finger rings like earrings, pendants, necklaces, bangles. So that's gold. Silver, that's also again you see mostly in anklets, chains, lot of jewelries. Even sometimes people use silver utensils. Then copper, zinc, lot of metals. So this slide is basically to make you acquainted with the look of each of these metals. Now if you look at gold, the color is like very shiny and yellowish. Look at the silver, the color is grayish. If you look at iron, this is iron. If you look at this iron, the color is more blackish. It is shiny, but obviously it's not that much as it's in case of gold and silver. You see sodium, then magnesium, then comes aluminium, potassium. This is potassium, calcium, cobalt, nickel. So in this slide you actually get to see how exactly each of these metals look like. Now these are the most commonly used metals. They find a lot of applications everywhere. In fact, you can find all these metals in your house itself. So now the question is, what are metals? Now how do we define a metal? What is that basic thing thing which defines that this object, okay, this object is going to be a metal and this object is going to be a non-metal? So metals are those substances which are electropositive in nature. Now what do I mean by electropositive? I'll explain. So these metals always have a tendency to lose electrons. Now do you know about electrons, protons and neutrons? Whatever object we see around us are matter, and matter is made up of molecules, and molecule is made up of atoms. And what do we have inside an atom? Inside the atom we have three types of particles, like electrons, protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged particles, electrons are negatively charged particles, and neutrons are neutral, they have no charge. So if you look at the structure of an atom, this is how roughly the structure of an atom look like. So here protons and neutrons, they are not mobile. They are concentrated towards the center of an atom. So here red and blue balls represents protons and neutrons. Whereas electrons are mobile. They keep moving in orbits around the protons and neutrons. The central portion here of an atom is termed as nucleus. So nucleus contains protons and neutrons. And electrons, these black balls, they are electrons and they are moving in orbits around the nucleus. So that is how the structure of atom roughly is. Now metals are those substances which always have tendency to lose electrons. So these electrons which are present, they always tend to lose electrons. Now if a substance is losing an electron, what will happen to that substance? Electron is negatively charged, so basically that substance is losing some negatively charged particle. So the number of positively charged particles in that substance will be more, so the substance will become electropositive. Let me try to explain it in this way. Let us suppose this is your atom. Inside this orange ball, it's atom, you have protons, electrons, neutrons. Now right now I am talking about charges, so I am not talking about neutrons because neutrons are anyways neutral. Now right now if you see the number of protons and electrons, here they are equal. You see the blue balls are also 4 and grey balls are also 4. So that means the number of positive charged particles is same as the number of negative charged particles. So overall the atom is neutral. Now what will happen if this atom loses one electron? Now one electron is gone. Now what happens to this atom? If you see, it has now 4 positive charged particles, and how many negative charged particles are there? Only 3. So overall this atom is now positively charged because it has lost its one electron. So these kinds of substances which always have a tendency to lose electrons and become positive, These kind of substances are metals. Now you might have a question in your mind that which kind of substances will have tendency to lose electrons. Well, to understand that, you actually need to understand the electronic configuration. You need to understand that how electrons are arranged in an atom. Now we are not discussing that part at this level, but as you go to your higher classes, when you know about the electron configuration, then you will get to understand which type of elements have the tendency to lose electrons. But for now, you should understand that anything which has tendency to lose electron, they are metals. So all the metals which we are talking about, whether it's sodium, potassium, iron, magnesium, aluminium, they all have a tendency to lose electrons. And what happens, say, let me take an example of sodium. So this is sodium, symbol of sodium is Na. So this is sodium here. And what happens to sodium? Say sodium loses one electron and becomes what? It will become Na positive, sodium positive. It acquires this positive charge because it has lost one electron. Now positively charged particles will be moved because it has released one electron. So that is tendency of metals, and that is how they have been categorized as metals. So this is the basic definition or a basic way by which we define metals. Now we are going to talk about the physical properties of metals. Now when I say physical properties, I am talking about the properties which are externally visible. So the first property of metals is metallic luster. What do we mean by luster? We say that metals in their pure state have a luster. It means a shining surface. So if you look at metals in their pure form, that means when they are not mixed with anything. So in their pure form, they will always have a shiny surface. So this is a property which is exclusively present for metals. You can take the piece of metal and see their appearance of their surface. See the appearance of their surface. You just rub the surfaces by the sandpaper. You know what is sandpaper? Sandpaper is generally a paper with rough surface, and it's used for cleaning the metal surfaces. So once you clean it and then again observe the appearance of the surface, you will see that the surface is very shiny. Even for gold and silver, we actually know how shiny they are. So this is the first property of metals, that metals are having luster.